Check. What's going on, everybody, man? Big Mike coming at you live and direct, Philosopher King Central. Once again, philosophizing and thinking outside of the box. When the rest of the world is running for cover and being shamed into not thinking, we do the opposite, man. I know y'all probably sick of just hearing how folks is out there saying, well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but... I mean, they always got to add that caveat in there, man. Whenever they thinking something really taboo or avant-garde, they always got to throw that in there. Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, because it's just such a dirty word, such a dirty phrase, man. But no, not over here, man. We jump head first into the deep end of the pool, man. Yes, I am a conspiracy theorist. Why? Because there's a lot of conspiracies going on. And the elite and the powers that be do not want you delving into or even thinking about trying to solve the riddle. So they shame you into making you think that you're some sort of nutcase, some cuckoo. By actually doing your own research, man, to try and figure out the conspiracy, or if there is indeed a conspiracy. And what I have found, yes, there's individuals out there are organizations out there that are indeed acting conspiratorial. So, man, that's what we do over here, man. We think outside the box, man. Yes, we are conspiracy theorists. You are not going to shame me into studying what's actually going on out here. It's not going to happen. If anybody knows me, has been following my podcast and my way of life, you know that I have no shame. None. Not at all. So good luck trying to shame me. Good luck with that. But today I just want to make a little bit of small talk, man, because individuals have asked me about the Queen of England and how do I feel about it? Am I indifferent to it? Am I happy? Am I sad? I mean, what's going on with that? Why have you not even spoke on it? Well, there's a good reason for that, because I don't care about the Queen of England. I gives two shits about the Queen of England. This is not to be mean or to be crass or callous. I believe in just being honest about things, certain situations and circumstances. And the death of the Queen don't even move the needle with me. I don't care about it. And why don't I care about it? Number one, I've always been fascinated with the concept of power and how individuals command power and why everyone bows down to a said or certain individual who has power. Like, why are you the queen? And why do I have to bow to you? I don't know if y'all remember me telling the story about when I was a youngster, man, like 9-10 years old, sitting around at the table, the dinner table, and everyone would hold hands and bow their heads and thank this almighty creator for the bountiful food that we're about to eat. And in my weird, crazy mind, I'm thinking to myself, who is this God? And what is God? And what makes him? I shit y'all not, man. When I was this young, like, why do I have to bow to this God? You know what I mean? Just weird, crazy shit that a 9-10-year-old shouldn't even be entertaining at that age, man. You know what I mean? And I do the same thing with people. It's like, the Queen died. Hey, happy trails. Rest in peace, but it don't move the needle. I don't care either way. Because if I was somewhere where I had to actually bow to the Queen, or I don't know what they do, man. You know what I mean? Bend down, kiss her hand, whatever. It would just thoroughly irritate and disgust me, man. It really would. I'm like, man, let me give you an example. Like when I was in the military, of course, we had a rank structure. And I believe in having a rank structure. I believe in having superiors, but I only agree to be commanded by a superior that I know deserves the clout, who deserves the power. That's why I always respected enlisted men. Like if he was a first sergeant or a sergeant major, you know what I mean? Even a sergeant first class. I mean, I know you worked for that, man. You know what I mean? I know you put in the work to get that rank. Therefore, I submit. I follow you. I give you deference. You can have the power all day, man, because I know your work to get that, man. And even officers to a degree. A lot of officers, I mean, like not so much lieutenant or a captain. But man, when you get up there to your colonels and your generals and whatever, oh man, I know you put in work to get that. Oh, I know you put in work to get that. So I agree. The unwritten contract or the written contract to the fact that it's in the military, I will submit. I know you put in work for that, Jack. So I agree to follow you. I agree to so-called bow down to you, your position, your power, and your authority. But like the Queen of England, like, what did she do to deserve the power that she has? Nothing. She was just born into a family. She's part of a certain bloodline. I don't respect that shit. I don't care about that. And the same thing happens, man, like if I'm at court or whatever. I hate going to court, man. I have a Luciferian complex, man, when it's like right before the proceedings happen in court, they say, all rise. And you gotta rise when the judge comes in, and then they give you permission to sit down. And I'm like, it just turns my stomach. I'm like, who is this person that I'm standing for and sitting down for and showing all this respect and reverence for, man? I'm like, nah, man. That's why I avoid going to court, because I feel like sometimes I'm going to just say something that's going to get me in trouble. I'm serious, man. I hate going to court, just like I hate going to church. You know what I mean? Bruh, like when I was in Christianity, even when I was a Christian, it never did sit right with me, man. When you had a pastor and just everyone just giving the pastor, they were just rubbing his nuts, man. I'm like, it would just make me sick, man. I'm like, this pastor is, he's a charlatan. He's a hornswoggler, man. I'm like, come on, wake up. And that was one of the main things that got me out of Christianity, man. It was like, I can't sit down and worship fools. Worship individuals who really ain't no better than the flock they supposed to be leading, man. Like, I seen you pull up in the Jaguar, Mr. Holy Man, which shows me that you subject to the same sins and fallacies and flaws everyone else is, man, because you suffer from certain ego deficiencies, man. That's why you're out there flossing in the Jag, bruh. You ain't doing nothing that Jesus did, man. You're not. Jesus wouldn't pull up in a goddamn Jag. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, I get sick. Now, I used to give imams when I was in Islam, when I was a Muslim. I used to give a lot of imams a lot of props, man, because a lot of imams are not flashy. A lot of imams, they have a lot more masculine energy. A lot of imams were just more serious, man. Really more about the religion or about the philosophy, man. And I could tell that. I could tell that there was a distinct difference between pastors and imams, man. But yet and still, like, I still didn't like worshiping any of these cult of personalities, whether they be an imam or whether they be a pastor, man. Not on it, Jack. So bottom line is, man, I only give power and I only give deference, man, to people I believe deserve it, man. So, like I said, the Queen has passed on, but it don't move the needle with me. I don't really care. There's not too many people walking this planet, man, where I'm just like, oh man, I would really be choked up and brokenhearted if they transitioned, man. Because just to be honest, there's not a lot of people out there that I thoroughly respect. And I can get petty. Even in the Black Manosphere, man. I don't know who you guys are that's over here listening to this program. A lot of individuals from the Black Manosphere, and there may be just other individuals that are just here on the fly who don't know who I am, don't know where I've been, don't know what I'm about, man. But in the Black Manosphere, you have thought leaders, you have podcasters who are very prominent, and they make up certain key phrases and bits and pieces of slang to let you know that they are indeed part of the Black Manosphere, man. Like certain words like maggle, strag, community. When have y'all actually heard Big Mike, the Almighty One himself, actually use those phrases and those terms? It's probably rare that you've ever actually heard me say that, man. Use those terms. Why don't I use those terms? because once again, I'm familiar with the concept of dog training, man. Familiar with the concept of cult of personality and cult worship. And one of the ways to identify if you're part of a cult, man, is to adopt the phrases and the lingo of a cult, because you've been brainwashed into using said words or said phrases. That's why I position myself and I distance myself to the fifth power, and I refuse to use that lingo. I refuse to use those phrases, because unbeknownst to a lot of y'all, those are major power plays and power moves, man. Individuals making up words and phrases and then you following suit by using them. And I sit here and I stand on my square and I let everybody know that I am unprogrammable. You can't program me. I will not be using your phrases or your slang or your terminology so that you can mark me as one of your followers or plebeians. It's not going to happen. The Almighty One, the Triple XL, is his own man. And whether it be some YouTuber, some thought leader on YouTube in the manosphere, all the way up to the Queen herself, we are not following and we are not being led by individuals who don't deserve to be followed or led by. So that's all I really want to say about that, man, on the concept of power and leadership. Because yes, I've been very fascinated through the years about why people give up their power and the whole concept of basically just being brainwashed, man, to the point that you're just going to follow anyone who comes in and claims that they are royal or they're of a certain bloodline or they have a certain philosophy that you need to adhere to. What makes the useless eater bow down? Well, anyway, just think about that, man. Just think about who you are and who you follow and why you follow them, man. And why you give them your power. Very interesting concept, man. Very interesting philosophical concept, no doubt. But yeah, I'll be right back, man. You know, I got some more things to spit, but I can only do it in 15-minute increments. So Big Mike, the Almighty One himself, coming at you live and direct from Philosopher King Central. Thinking outside the box, people. That's what we do. Like, share, and subscribe. That's about the only brainwashing I'm about to get into right there, man. I'm going to be saying a phrase that everybody and their mama says when they get on YouTube right now. Like, share, subscribe. Because I think my thoughts and my message deserves to be out there in the ether, man. Gotta stop selling myself short, man. You know, I've just been too humble. So Big Mike, and I'm out.
I can out-think you, and I can out-philosophize you, and I'm gonna outlast you.